First week towards monetization, check, done. I'm going to share everything that happened this past week, and a lot of things surprised me in a good way. So let's check it out. Hey, Alexis Aranoy here. Welcome to my channel where I help Gen Xers and beyond grow a YouTube channel and hopefully get monetized. What I learned this week, that number one, the top thing that I had not expected at all was community. There is such an amazing community on YouTube. Like, I'm getting teary-eyed. As a person who has been working remotely for the past 15 years, it still feels a little distant. And which is ironic is that this is online YouTube, but the people are super supportive. I have not felt any negativity yet. Everyone has been really kind and on the journey too. And I think that we're all kind of in the trenches together, and it's really nice. So that was the number one thing that I really enjoyed about this past week of doing this YouTube stuff is the community. And I also realized just how small YouTube is. Even though YouTube has 2.7 billion monthly users, a good majority of the people had seen Silver and Solo that I mentioned in the first video. It made it feel like even though this place is huge and massive, we can still have a community of people that are interested in the same thing, like actually have seen Silver and Solo. So that was really cool too, to realize even though it's massive, it's still quite small community as well. The other positive thing I noticed, which I'll talk about soon, is just how many subscribers I got in 1 week. Like that blew my mind. I was expecting maybe 3. Like seriously, I did not have high expectations at all because I've had a channel for 10 years. I've posted random videos here and there, but there was a chunk of time where I was actually posting videos, I think once a week, and I was making an effort about 4 years ago. And you know, getting subscribers was really slow. So this past week was, I hope it wasn't just beginner's luck. I hope it continues, but I got a ton of subscribers, way more than I ever thought I would. So that was really exciting. That was really fun. The other thing that I think was really interesting is that I've been a designer, architect, professor for many years, almost 2 decades. I thought I had down the how long you think something takes and how long it actually takes. Like I had finally gotten that to a balance in my design career. But when it came to making videos and trying to put out content that is really worth people's time to watch and really analyzing every second of it and making sure that it's interesting and that you hold people's attention and then you're not boring them with blah, 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 that was a part I definitely need to work on. I imagined I would have tons of tutorials ready for you guys like in a week. I thought I could post like 5. I was saying I was going to post 2, but I was like, I could totally do more than that. No, not happening. Maybe later. But the reason I thought it would be faster is because as a teacher, I had created numerous tutorials for my students, but they didn't need to be crafted so well because they were just for that student personally to watch and to quickly get the information from me that they needed to move on to the next step of design. So here it's a totally different ball game. This lives on to YouTube forever, so that's a little daunting, but also you need to really focus on keeping someone's attention and you need to make sure it's crisp and done well. And so living in those 2 different worlds really made me think that this would be a faster process than it is, and it's not that fast. But I think it will speed up once I get into my groove and have a process that I can kind of check things off the list and go through. And once I have that checklist, I'm going to put that as a PDF download for you guys because I think that having a plan for your videos, like research phase, script phase, like where you write a script, like an outline of a script so you know what you're going to say, your main points, also if you need to do slides or anything like that, get those done, and then you can go into your movie editing software and just start to kind of compile it quickly and then just remove the ums and ahs and all that stuff. I'm going to hopefully create a checklist like that for you guys soon, but I think it'll get faster like I said. So, you know, all of these things, we're learning new things. It's slow in the beginning, but we have to remember that a year from now, we will be in a different place and it'll be much faster. Another thing that I'm really struggling with that I know is uber important, because all of the YouTube courses say you must niche down. So my niche obviously is trying to gear down towards Gen Xers and get the tools they need to grow a business online. So niching down is really important, and it reminds me of, if I relate it back to my career, I've tested many different things over my career with students. I've given them a design brief that was very broad, that didn't have many constraints, and then I've also given them design briefs that specifically stated the overall footprint of your house can only be this big, you can only go up 3 stories. If I gave my students constraints, they actually designed much better. Whereas if I left it more broad and said, you can choose your client, you can choose location, then they kind of were like, oh, deer in headlights. I think this niche thing is actually a good thing. And of course it is, because everyone says it's a good thing, but I'm kind of a little hard-headed. So that was something I learned this week that was really important too, like having boundaries, having like a container for your ideas to fit in, and then it helps you to come up with a lot more ideas more easily. So every week I'm going to try to improve something, just a little bit. I think that's important. Each week you try to strive to improve by 1% or improve a little bit of your videos. This week I want to learn how to do end cards. Now that I have a few videos done, I think I could actually start to link to other videos. That way you'll retain people on your YouTube channel. I also want to make sure I start to ask people to like or subscribe in the videos, because I'm not doing that right now. And also something I learned that I think is really important is that to ask for the subscribes or the likes in the middle of the video after you've provided some value. I think that's a really great tip. I learned that from Sean Cannell's Video Ranking Academy course. Most of the time you see a video open up and it's like, hey, I'm Alexa Saranoia, welcome to my channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, right? But I haven't given you anything yet. I've just told you my name and maybe the hook in the beginning. So why are you going to like my video, right? What's the point of it? It's like going to a restaurant and saying, hey, give us a rating on our food when you haven't even ordered your food yet. So it doesn't make sense. So what he was saying is to ask for people to subscribe or like your videos in the middle of the videos. After you've given them some good advice, maybe a tip, you just finished tip number 3 or something, and you have 5 you're doing. After tip number 3, you could be like, hey, if you're getting value from this video, would you please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel? And this way, people will feel like you have given them something, so they'll be more apt to give you something back. And one other thing that I want to say before I jump into the numbers is that in the course of Video Ranking Academy, Sean preaches a lot, you're one ranked video away from success on YouTube, right? It just takes one video to really get the subscribers, to get the views, and to kind of get the ball rolling, like from there on out. And he says that, that might be your 7th video, it might be your 30th video, it might be the 50th video, you never know. But once you get that ranked video, everything changes. So, it doesn't mean that you can sit on your laurels and not work anymore, but it's like a milestone for YouTube and for your channel and towards monetization. So I think that's a nice thing to keep in mind. One video away. And feel free to share. Again, like I said at the very beginning of this video, I really love the community aspect of this, and it's really nice getting to know you all and see your journeys and see your YouTube channels and kind of cheer you on. I'm sorry, I'm sweating so much. In Finland, it's really hot right now. It's never hot in Finland. We had winter up until about a week ago, and now it's summer. We skipped spring entirely this year. So it's really hot in my house. So pardon the glistening glow that I have right now. Okay, let's jump into my computer. I'll stop babbling now. See you there. Okay, so here we are in YouTube. Let's jump into my analytics. So we go to YouTube Studio to get to analytics. In last week, I got 1,800 views, almost 67 watch time hours, and 172 subscribers. I want to compare these numbers to the week prior. Okay, hello, you guys. Watch time hours, not even 1. Views, 31. Subscribers, 1. Let's compare again. Let's compare and contrast. Here we go. Views, 31, 1,800. Big difference, huge leap up. Watch time hours, not even 1, 67 almost. Subscribers from 1 to 172. Heck yeah, I think this was a good week for me with these statistics and what I've gained in this past week. It has been an incredible week. These videos are getting like almost 30% average view duration, and they say a good place to be is between 40 and 60. This is something I want to work on. I want to improve on this. Average view duration is basically how many minutes people watch compared to how long the video is. So that's something to work towards. And one other thing I want to note is how I got the views. The way that I'm getting these views, like where they're coming from, whether it's external sites or internal YouTube, you can find that out on content. And what I was learning from a YouTuber online the other day is that you really want most of it to come from the browse feature. So if we look at content and we go down here, you can see how viewers find your videos. Right now, it's at the browse feature is the top, and this is what you want. You browse feature, if you open this up, traffic from the homepage, home screen, the subscription feed, and other browsing features within YouTube. This is from other channel pages, YouTube searches. If someone's searching for this term directly, they're finding you 3.1% of the time. External is like Facebook, Instagram, any other sites outside. If I do the week prior to compare, you can see that
most of my views were coming from external. And that's because I posted that video on my Facebook page. And that's where most of the views were coming from. And I had very little views on that video, right? It was 30 views. So all of those views were mostly coming from my Facebook feed. You can really see the dramatic difference between if it's coming from the browse feature in YouTube versus, external sources. Of course, if I had a huge following on external sources like Facebook, that would be great. And then maybe that would drive people there. But the problem I find with posting to Facebook is that most of my friends are architects and designers, and they're not really interested in possibly building or monetizing YouTube. So that's why I don't really post videos to Facebook to get any help. So back to crunching numbers. So here's a quick summary. You can pause the video and look at this if you want to. What does this mean? If this was my typical success each week, it would mean I would take 4.4 weeks to reach 1,000 subscribers and 55 weeks, about a year, to reach 4,000 watch hours. To kind of put it into perspective, if what happened this past week was typical, this is about how long it would take me to get to those benchmarks of 1,000 subs and 4,000 watch hours. Of course, if my subs are increasing, my watch time hours should also compound a bit and not stay at the same level. But here's how I got these numbers up here. And again, I'm sure it's going to vary the amount of watch hours each week. But if this were to happen exactly as it happened this week, until monetization, this is how long it would take me. Basically 5 weeks to reach 1,000 subs, and a little over a year to reach 4,000 watch hours. Here's how I did the numbers. So originally my channel had 236 subscribers before I decided to revive it, and it gained 176 this week. So what I did to get to my baseline is I subtracted those 236 that I already had from 1,000 to get me 764. I then divided that 764 by 176 subs, which is what I got this week. And I want to know how many weeks it would take at this pace to get to 1,000 subs. So 764 divided by 176, my weekly amount, and that is 4.34. So about 4.5 weeks to get to 1,000 subs, because it took me a week to gain 176 subscribers. So I did similar math with the watch hours. I had about 54.8 watch hours before this week for the year. So I looked back 365 days from last week to get my watch hours for the year. So far I had 54.8. So I know I need to get 4,000 for the year. So I gained 70.2 in this past week. So I subtracted 4,000 minus the watch hours I already had, and that gave me this number. And then from this number, I was treating it as my baseline. Moving forward, if I divide that by 70.2, which is a week's worth of watch hours, if we assume this wouldn't change, then it would be this number divided by this number equals 56 weeks. So it will take me 1 year and 1 month to achieve my goal at this rate. That is not my desire. I'm on the boat with Silver and Solo. I would really like to get it in 10 weeks or less. I don't know if it's possible, and it'll be interesting to watch over the coming weeks if this number increases, because I'm blown away that I got 70.2, because like I said, the week before was it was only 1 watch time hour. So I'm super psyched about how much watch time hours I've had, because I had 70.2 this past week, which is amazing. So I'm happy. But when you do the numbers, then you start to realize how long it would still take at that rate to get to where you want to go. And like I said, I want to improve that number. So that's my focus, is to try and improve the watch time hours. That's my numbers for the week. And if you wanted to do this yourself, the goal is you want to get 1,000 subscribers, right? Let's say the first week you got 27 subscribers. So this number is now your weekly average, if we're pretending that every week from here on out you only got 27 subscribers. If you do 1,000, that is the goal you need, divided by 27, that's how many you had average for the week, you would get, so 37 weeks is how long it would take to get to your goal. And of course we could then divide that by 4 to give you months, if you'd rather think about it in months. So 37 weeks, or around 9 months basically, to get to your goal. And then for the 4,000 watch hours, let's say you had, I really don't know what an average is. Let's say you had 10 watch hours for the week. So 400 weeks, to get to 4,000 watch hours. So 400 weeks, that would take basically 8 years. So I don't want to depress anyone, but I think it's important to see the actual numbers, or maybe it's not important. Maybe you don't want to see this. I don't know. But I think that, of course, as your channel grows and as you get more subscribers and you get more views, I think it will compound so that this will happen much faster. But like I said, I have no idea. I've never monetized before, but I like to break down the numbers so that I have a ballpark idea of where I am and what I need to do to improve. Hopefully this helps you all. Okay, and then one other thing I want to show you, which I think is interesting, is you can go into your analytics and then you can click through all these tabs, but you can also look at your audience. Who are you attracting? So like my goal right now is to attract Gen Xers, right? So I can go down here and I can see what age range am I attracting? And I am actually successfully attracting more in the age range that I'm looking for. Like this is the age range I would like to approach. Of course, I want anyone to watch my videos, but if I'm niching down, this is really what I'm trying to attract, is this time frame or older. And I can also see most of the people are coming from the United States. That's probably because I speak English and I'm American, but I live abroad. But I think that it's fun to see if you're on track with your niche, who you're trying to attract, and if it's working. So I think it's a great first week, and hopefully this was helpful. And best of luck to you guys on your journey as well.
Okay guys, if you found this video helpful and you're on the journey towards monetization, definitely check out this next video that I did on how to get monetized. It walks you step by step through the process of getting monetized. You can click on the link in this video now. Thanks you guys.